Hi, I'm Christina Pipa,
And I'm Samantha Borman.
and we're here from ManuFixed. So we thought it'd be great to talk about what to do with what we're calling draft zero. So what is draft zero?
Draft zero is the draft that is not pretty enough for someone else to read, probably. Most of the time, that's what you'd think. It's just all messy. You haven't fixed any of the consistency issues, maybe. You have some chapters that maybe shouldn't be there. You might not have even finished it. There might not be an ending.
Right.
It's an ugly draft. It's not even your shitty first draft. It's draft zero.
So this is where we now disagree with most common knowledge, which is that we think you should trade with someone before you even maybe even write your ending. So our tip is step one, find someone who, when you're at that point where, like, I think I have my draft. I think I know where this is going. It needs a ton of work, but I'm ready to step away because the parts that are too frustrating are too frustrating. I don't know how to figure them out. And then the rest of it, maybe I feel good about enough that it's like the story is kind of there, but seek help, seek a friend. So we thought we'd tell you a bit about what we just did because it has helped us so much. So 6 days ago, we got together at this very table and we blocked out time from about 7:45 in the morning. Yep. That was impressive.
Yep. Yeah, I know it was.
And all the way to 5 o'clock.
And we finished as much of our books as we could. And we didn't finish. I didn't finish.
Yeah, and we both kind of said to each other, like, at the end of today, we're trading. Whatever it looks like.
Yeah.
And I hadn't read the last 75 pages of my book.
I hadn't read mine either.
Yeah. And so we just said, and it's a little like being naked. Like, you just have to be okay. So you have to trade with somebody who's in a very similar spot that
someone you trust, who's not going to be super judgmental of whatever weird crap came out in your draft zero.
Yeah.
There's bound to be something that would be embarrassing.
And when it's embarrassing, it has to, like, you have to say, this is not working. Yeah. And then you have to be comfortable with whoever that person is, that it's okay if they tell you that. This, like, I don't think you need this character. You're okay. That's cool. Yep. Maybe I don't. Maybe I will cut that character. That sounds good. So, but that worked out great for us because we were writing novels that were, at this draft, were roughly 60,000 words.
Yep, and we're both similar genre. I wrote a romance and you had women's fiction.
Yeah, and we definitely thought plot was important. Like, we weren't just trying to write pretty words. We wanted to tell a great story and have main, if not a couple, main characters that are on big story arcs. And so we knew what we wanted to do, and we knew we could check each other on all those points. So we traded.
Yep, and it was very helpful because, I don't know, at about 60,000 words, I was burned out. I did not remember, or I couldn't think of what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure how I wanted to wrap the book up, but Christina looked at it with fresh eyes and gave me a lot of great ideas.
Right. And in my case, there was a whole section where I was like, God, I feel like I went into a different genre here, and I don't know what to do. Maybe because we edit books, I was reading a lot of thrillers, and I just went off. I went off the deep end and
turned into a thriller halfway through.
I was like, I know this isn't working, but I don't know how to get back to what was working. And Sam texted me, I have a genius idea. And she did, totally. Perfectly got me back on track. And so, not everybody maybe has time to do this, but we made it a priority this week so that for the first three or 4 days, we were just reading each other's books. We set all our other work aside that we could. We're still teaching and parenting and all that stuff. But we read and we wrote up notes for each other, and we also put notes throughout the manuscript. So little flags like, did you know this guy's name changed in chapter 4?
Or did you know you have 3 Shelleys in this book?
Yeah, 3 different Shelleys. And so that was really, really helpful. Another thing, and this is our tip 2, another thing that was great about trading is that it gave us a break from our own novel, because everybody needs that. And only you can know if you need 1 month break or, 1 week, whatever it is that, where you can really separate yourself and come back to it with new eyes.
I think 2 weeks is probably
solid. Minimum?
I would say minimum 2. I mean, it's really, really hard to take a break when you're gung-ho to finish your novel, but I think 2 weeks is probably good. A month is probably better. I think what is Stephen King in that On Writing book says a month.
Yeah.
Which is probably smart.
And then what you could do to really make it feel like it's not your book anymore is to go ahead and print it out.
Yes. Because when you read it, you shouldn't mess with it. You shouldn't touch the text of the book. You should just read it from beginning to end and kind of maybe take notes about what's wrong, make a chapter list of what's happening in each chapter, just what you have, but don't touch the book.
Great. So that's our step 3 is this bird's eye view outline that you're going to make of your own book. So hopefully you've gotten some tips and some insight from a friend or an editor on that really messy 0 draft. And you've taken a break and now you've come back to it, you've printed it or you put it on a Kindle or something, an iPad, and then you sit down and you're going to make this chapter outline where you write down what is happening in each chapter, what were you going for, and take some notes.
Yep. What I like to do, what I'm doing at least right now is I made a big map of what I have, like chapter 1, these 2 things happen, chapter 2, these 2 things happen, and I do that all in black. And I'm taking a red pen and adding in the things that I need to do. So that's going to be like what I have and my to-do list kind of all in one, and then I can cross them off as I fix them.
Awesome. And a writing to-do list can just be so helpful. I mean, when we first wrote these really messy drafts, I had a writer to-do list for what I wanted to happen in the story, in the chapters, in the plot, and you just check them off when you get them written. It
must have been a really big to-do list in the second half.
It's a big to-do list. Big. Because I went crazy. So, I'm going to rein that in this next draft. It was a big to-do list. Yeah. Okay. So then once you have this outline, your step 4 is going to be triage. So you're going to go in and you're going to fix what is in the worst shape. So just like when the people come into the hospital and they go through which patients need the most attention, you're going to find that within your chapters. Like, what do you need to pay attention to and fix first?
Yep, you don't want to fix the little things the first. It's tempting to do that because it's easy. You can just fix all these tiny little things, kind of cross them off your list and feel like you've accomplished something. But if you fix those little things, a lot of times you end up just erasing them, because when you fix the big things, you have to cut sections.
Right.
So it's better to start with the big things and work your way down to the little.
Yeah, so it would be awful if you fix the commas in 30 pages that you're going to cut tomorrow. I mean, it would be torture. And we've found, working with writers as editors, that there are parts of books where people just don't want to let them go because they've put years into them. There are chapters that they say, I know it's not working, but I don't know, I can't quite lose it. It feels like it's important. It needs to be there.
That's a good thing about starting your edits and really thinking through the plot and what's happening in the story with draft 0 is that you haven't invested too much time into a lot of these characters and plot points.
Right.
So it's a little easier to cut them if they need to go.
Yeah, and that's why we kind of go against the traditional wisdom of waiting till you have a solid first draft to trade, because, this messy stuff you can really exchange and work on before you're so attached.
Yeah.
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 Great. So you triage. This could take a couple weeks. It could take a couple months. This is the harder work, So then you get your draft into what we would probably call draft 1.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Into a solid shape. And then you're going to read it again. Okay? So in reading it again, it might be great to print it out. It might be great to look at it on a Kindle. But at this point, you might be leaning in towards some more polishing. Right? So what would polishing entail?
I would probably make polishing the next step. Just go read it.
Read it one more time.
Read it one more time.
Know it.
It's going to be really hard to do that without polishing it because you're going to want to do it.
Yeah.
Read it one more time. Make another list of things you have to fix.
This is where I admit that I don't do that.
I probably don't either.
I don't have the patience. I would totally recommend that you go ahead and read it one more time, but at this point...
I probably don't do that either.
Yeah,
it's just that's so the best
hard.
Advice. You should do that.
Yes. Full disclosure.
Yep, you should do that. You should read it, make a list, do another mini revision, hopefully, and then go to polishing, which is your last step.
Right. So polishing would involve that sentence level work where you're wordsmithing and fixing, a clunky sentence where it's like, I know this is too long or this doesn't work, I'm going to break this up. But you really don't want to spend time on that until the very end. You want to make sure your chapters are in the right order and everything's flowing before you get down to that micro sentence level. And then you have this new draft and you need to decide what to do with it next. So we recommend you send it to an editor because that's what we do.
Editors.
Yeah, so we're always going to say that. And you can always find a good one. And this might be time to trade then with another writer who has experience editing, who you maybe weren't comfortable showing that naked, messy draft.
You can show this to a writer you don't know all that well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And do a trade maybe, or, hire someone, whatever works. But that would be that's the next step. So thanks for watching, and we will look forward to sending out some more tips and tricks, and hope that you get that draft 0 to draft 1 all the way to final draft.